Okay, great Wednesday morning. Good time to talk sports on the midweek edition of our program, your daily breakfast sports show on the Integrity Station's Plush 105.5 FM, broadcasting from the White House building, Felele in Ibadan. It is called Sports Bang, and it's another time again, the 9th day in the month of June, year 2021. Good morning to you, wonderful people. Thank you very much for joining us at this time. It is 25 minutes before 8 o'clock, and the program is live. My name is Tunde Olawuwo. Well, this morning I've got my great friends in the house, Faith Adedeji and Ferami Adewega. Shortly, you will be hearing from them. But to let you know that we're streaming live on our Facebook fan page this morning, Splash 105.5 FM. You can log on and watch. You can also listen via our website, www.splashfm1055.com. A click on the icon that shows listen live, and then you can get us wherever you are on the planet Earth. Yes, I'll show you of that one. Okay, the Super Eagles of Nigeria in a must-win second leg friendly game yesterday couldn't break down the indomitable Lions, but some will say at least it is better than another defeat, which would have, somehow dampened the morale of the boys. We also keep track on the international friendly games that we're having across different continents, and keeping one eye also on the transfer market. Remember, in about 2 months right now, we'll be talking about the opening, or let me say the resumption of various leagues across Europe, especially the top 5. The Nigerian Professional Football League also will get our attention this morning. So make sure that from now till 8 o'clock, we have a good time together on Sports Bang. Okay, let me get Faith on board quickly. How are you, Faith?
Yeah, good morning, Tunde. Good morning, Fermi. Good morning, Ibadan. It's a wonderful Wednesday morning, and it's a wonderful time to be on Sports Bank. And like we always say, your morning is not complete without a dose of Sports Bank. Well, today being the 9th of June, just like you said, the first day of the transfer window. The transfer window officially opens today. And we all know the kind of drama that comes with the transfer window.
Maybe the club executives, the agents, the players, the media.
The parents of the players too at some point.
Sometimes parents, friends.
So you can always go as far as, in fact, even journalists will be tracking their partners, tracking every form of information you can get as regards the transfer. Maybe his partner just followed Tottenham Hotspur. Maybe that particular player is going towards Tottenham Hotspur and all that. So, it's always a very interesting time in the world of sports. Maybe it will be one of those weird transfer windows. We've had very, very, I would say, insane transfers in the world of football. As a matter of fact, you remember the Willian transfer where, he almost signed for Tottenham. In fact, he already had a kind of view of the old Tottenham Hotspur training ground and all that. He had a tour of that training ground, and then at the end of the day, he was signing for Chelsea. You cannot imagine that kind of thing. I think it was even a different club that flew him into England. Then he went to Tottenham to view their facilities, and then at the end of the day, he signed for Chelsea. So
these guys aren't loyal at all.
Yeah, football is big business. It's not just about the loyalty.
Yes, but there's a part that loyalty plays.
No, you cannot just leave it down to loyalty. If you stay loyal to a club side, when the chips are down for you, the club side might not be loyal to you. So it's all important for you to get.
Now you're sounding like one of those agents.
And you have to also look at the fact that the career of a footballer is very short. If you are very lucky with injuries, maybe you have a 15-year span. It's not something that happens. You don't have a very long career span like that. So you have to make the most of the moment.
So the long and short of it is that loyalty is
should be out of the
secondary.
Window. If I were to advise any young footballer, loyalty is not exactly what you should be looking at.
You don't have young footballers listening to you. Okay, Farron.
Good morning to you today. Good morning to Faith. Good morning to a wonderful listener. For me, as far as I'm concerned, I think the transfer window already opened right from the last day of the games of the season, because we already saw some players moving, some people already joining their clubs, and of course, we can already see probably not entirely an hijack, but something close to it. Talking about Wadnadom, looks like this man would actually be going to PSG. I'm pained, actually, I am, because any good club would definitely want to want a player like Wadnadom in this team. And of course, it was supposed to be going to Barcelona, and of course, all of a sudden, it's now looking like PSG is actually taking him at this point.
Maybe money has played a big role.
Yeah, definitely. Money has actually played a big role because PSG are willing to offer him more than what Barcelona was actually willing to offer at this point in time. And of course, like Faith rightly said, I think I want to totally agree with that. I don't think there should be anything called loyalty when you are actually playing football. I mean, when you're actually, in the midst of going from one club to another. I mean, any clubs that offers you something that would actually make you a better player in terms of finance and of course in terms of trophies, I think you should be ready to go to that kind of club. And that's one reason why I feel that if nobody is coming for Harry Kane, probably Harry Kane should pay for his own transfer wages and actually leave. If that is the case,
it's not possible that nobody will come for Harry Kane. It can only be maybe a question of the fee.
Yes, that is actually where I'm actually going to, because I feel it's going to be very difficult for any club at this point in time to want to cough out that amount of money.
How much are we talking about?
We don't know yet. We don't know yet right now, but we all know that Kane will not...
100 million pounds.
I don't think Kane will go for 100. Levy would actually be putting a huge amount of money on him to try as much as possible to shy away from other people that might actually be coming on board.
But what
150 to 100?
They both sit down. Look, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah,
I really do want to go. Mm-hmm. So put a reasonable price tag.
That is reasonable enough for me as a chairman.
200.
Definitely
reasonable.
We're talking about a Hurricane that is highest goal scorer for this season.
100 million pounds.
Definitely. I mean, how many top world striker do we have in the world right now? And you won't mention Hurricane.
Nobody will pay
200 million pounds. So that means it's not reasonable, because essentially that means you're preventing him from achieving his dream.
This is the best time for me to cash out on Harry Kane.
And 100 million pounds is not... How much do you even pay to get him?
You think Level would actually allow Harry Kane to leave for that amount?
But then again, you don't want to keep an unhappy player in your team. Remember, this is a senior player. He's not some young, guys that you say, well, if you don't do what I want, I keep you on the bench for as long as possible. This is the captain of England.
He has a contract with him.
And
that's the ties him down with Tottenham.
One thing is very clear. Like I always say, the worst kept secret in the world of football is that Daniel Levy is a tough negotiator. Yeah. But one thing is, if the player really wants it, we saw it with Gareth Bale, we saw it with Luka Modric, we saw it with Michael Carrick. So we've seen so many players like that. Dimitar Berbatov as well. So as long as you really want to go, well, the fee will be high, just like you guys have rightly pointed out. But then they will have to reach a middle ground. You cannot keep a world-class player like that is hell bent on going. There's no
captain of England, I must add.
In fact, the press would not even give you. You have a very tough time with the press and all that. So you don't want to be on the bad side of all these variables we've talked about. I think if Harry Kane is really, that is why they're looking at getting a top manager. Looking at getting they tried getting Antonio Conte, because they know that getting a top manager will always.
But that one didn't work out.
It didn't work out. So they're also looking at. They've gotten a.
So where else is there? Are they getting Zidane?
I don't know.
I don't think Zidane will go to Tottenham. Never.
But they've gotten a fantastic football director. Definitely. Talking about Paratici, who did so well over there in Italy. So maybe
even though he made a very huge mistake in his last days right there at Juventus by bringing on a Pello, though we can't actually judge by that anyway.
It seems this program is taking the direction of transfer speculation. Every summer you have this one big transfer that maybe for months everybody will be talking about it. Sometimes it will materialize. Sometimes at the end of the day, it's going to be a stalemate. Do you think Harry Kane is going to be in the middle of the biggest transfer story this summer?
Definitely.
It has to be. It has to be.
Then Jadon Sancho as well.
Wow, Jadon Sancho.
Where do you think he's going to?
I don't know yet.
Okay, but not United.
Well, let's talk about the friendly game. It was a quick turnaround for the Super Eagles and the indomitable Lions of Cameroon, who went again in a second friendly match just 3 days after their 24th meeting last Friday. But it was a dull friendly, largely characterized by a disjointed display from both sides, marked by misplaced passes and non-cohesive play. At the end of 90 minutes plus the 3 additional minutes, the Lions did not have any shots on target, while the Eagles had 3, though the Lions, 5-time African champions, had 52% of the ball possession. But hey, the stats that matter Who didn't turn up? Genatro made 2 changes from the first 11 from Friday. Valentin Zunwafo and Ahmed Musa started in place of the injured William Troost-Ekong, while Musa replaced the largely ineffective Ogene Tebo. The Super Eagles of Nigeria have lost 11 matches in the 46 matches for which Genatro has been on the bench since he took over the reins of the national team in August 2016. In that time, he has been in charge for 17 friendly matches, of which the team has won 4, lost 6, and drawn 7. It seems this man doesn't like friendlies.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have a good record.
He's not a friendly man.
But then, when it comes to...
He's a friendly
No,
man.
he's not a friendly man, because if he's actually a friendly one, he should be winning friendlies.
But then it's about the competitive games for me. I think in recent times, he's had the best win rate in competitive games for Nigeria. We cannot take anything away from that. So maybe at the friendly games, maybe he doesn't take it as seriously as we probably would have wanted him to. Because
Should friendly matches be taken seriously?
yeah, it should be practice games. It should be what will prepare you for the
Should be practical games, so to say.
most important competitions. Because if you are not doing well in friendly games, most often than not, it will also translate into the main tournament or the more competitive games. But I don't know how Rod does it. He might not do well in friendly games, but when it comes to the qualifiers, he finds a way around it. When it comes to, well, he's not won a major he's not even won any tournament with us. But then when it comes to the tournament as well, he's a very pragmatic coach. Maybe that is the perfect explanation to that. A very reactive coach who knows how to get results, how to grind out results, and he just has to be doing better than what we did over the course of those 2 games against Cameroon. Any day, anytime, any game against the indomitable Lions of Cameroon is always one that we always want to win. Nigerians will remember the 1984 finals of the AFCON where they knocked us out. We also remember the 2000 finals and all that. So we have some very
We were
gory...
supposed to win that 1984. We were robbed. I just need to add.
But then just to what he has actually said, probably I should actually look at it from the angle of the new guys that actually came on board, the likes of Abraham Marcos, Terry Murphy. I think maybe these guys need to get actually more into the game. It needs to be able to ease them more into the game. Talking about Genatro, give them more playing time to see what they can actually do. Because with what I saw, looks like these guys are actually nervous on the field of play. They were not really having that coordination that was actually needed. Misplaced passes, especially from Abraham Marcos in that particular one. But then probably as time goes on, you've been given more chance, and this is why you actually need to give this kind of players more playing time during friendlies, because when it gets more competitive, they might not actually get a chance. But if you don't give them that enough time to show what they can do now, it's going to be difficult to see if we are actually if there is going to be any fighting competition in the camp of the Super Eagles. But all in all, maybe we shouldn't entirely judge Rob based on these 2 friendlies. Like he rightly said, competitive games, it gets the result. Friendlies, not a friendly man. So I think we just have to move on at this point in time.
Okay, in the MPFL, in the last couple of weeks, we've talked about the struggles of Sunshine Stars, but we really need to highlight the flip side of things. The positive side. Aqua United, 15 games unbeaten in the Nigerian Professional Football League. Kennedy Boboye must be something special in the MPFL.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe he's been there, done that. He knows the league.
He's won the league with Plateau United.
Exactly.
Definitely.
So he knows the league in and out, and you cannot take anything away from that.
The last time they lost a game was February 14.
That's a long time ago, and it's very obvious why they are second on the table right now with 46 points. They've been able to win 12 games, drawn 10, and lost only 3 this season. And I think that is really, really laudable. That is something you would say is a title winning credential if they're able to hold it down. Hopefully, maybe teams around them, the Kano Pillars, the Kwara United, will fall along the wayside. But then, if they keep this kind of record, you cannot bet against them winning the league, especially with a coach that has won the league before. So, it's doing so well for them over there at Aqua United, and it's something really, really, commendable, and we need to give him maximum kudos for that. Hopefully, they'll be able to do that. But if I were to pick one of the top teams to go, maybe I would say I'll be supporting a particular Kwara United, maybe because they are the closest to us in terms of, whatever, form of classification you want to classify it to.
I don't understand.
Neither do I.
I'm just going to leave you with
You're your own.
Okay, match the 26 games to happen later today. Plateau United welcome Katsina United. Eyimba versus Adama. Don't rule Eyimba out
Definitely,
yet. They've got, I think, 3 games in hand in the league. Rivers United will also be playing leaders Kano Pillars, Jigawa Golden Stars versus Wiki Tourists. Ifeanyiba will welcome Kwara United, Faith's adopted team right now. MFM against Abia Warriors. Lobby Stars versus Enugu Rangers. Sunshine struggling. Sunshine against Dakada, and Nasarawa United versus Warri Wolves. Tomorrow is going to be Aqua United versus Atland. Feromi, what's your pick of the bunch?
I mean, it has to be Rivers United against Kano Pillars. I think, these are 2 teams that are actually still in for heat and still think that they
Rivers
can
are 5th.
They're 5th. Kano Pillars currently 1st at this point in time, 48 points. Rivers United 42 points. That's just about 6 points separating these two. And they win today. Talking about Stanley Eguman's team, they know that they are actually closing the gap right there. So it's going to be a very, very tight one, a very close contested fixture later today. We just have to wait and see what happens and how they'll be able to actually negotiate this game. Talking about Rivers United, Kano Pillars away from home, they've not really had a very fine run away from home this season, and that might actually continue again if they are not careful later today. But then that is what the NPFL actually serves us: interesting competitive games, and that is why we're actually following into this point in time.
And unpredictability.
Exactly, definitely. It's still not. We can't still predict who's going to win this league at the end of the day because it's very tight.
But we know who's not going to win the league.
Of course, Sunshine is not.
Okay, so moving on Sports Bank. Right now, we'll look at the world of tennis. The French Open. Greek 5th seed Stefanos Tsitsipas showed a superior clay court quality against Russian rival Daniil Medvedev to reach the French Open semi-finals. Medvedev opted for an underarm serve on match points, which Tsitsipas dubbed a very millennial shot after putting it away to seal a 6-3, 7-6, 7-5 win. It ended Medvedev's surprisingly deep run on clay and put Tsitsipas into a 3rd straight Grand Slam semi-final. Tsitsipas faces German 6th seed Alexander Zverev in the last 4. Zverev advanced to the last 4 for the first time with a 6-4, 6-1, 6-1 win over Spain's Alejandro Davidovich Fokina, which later said he had been hampered by a back injury. Like Tsitsipas, Zverev is also aiming to win his first Grand Slam by lifting the title in Paris this Sunday. Well, we'll see how that pans out. Meanwhile, world number 1 Novak Djokovic and defending champion Rafael Nadal will aim to set up their latest showdown as both contest their French Open quarterfinals today. Serb Djokovic faces 9th seed Matteo Berrettini in the 9th session on court Felipe Catrell. Before that, Spain's 13-time Roland Garros winner Nadal meets Argentinian 10th seed Diego Schwartzman. Victories for Djokovic and Nadal would ensure a 58th meeting between the pair. That would be, a mouth-watering affair, Fate.
Anytime, any day, whenever Djokovic and Nadal will be coming up against themselves, you have to say that it's always a mouth-watering encounter because, both players very good on any court, as a matter of fact. But then, whenever it is the clay court, everyone knows that the king of clay himself, Rafael Nadal, always has the advantage. You cannot take anything away from that. Many people have even said he's the greatest ever player on clay, as a matter of fact. So that's another angle to look at it from.
Okay, before they can think about that or the records they're both chasing, they must get past some tricky opponents today. First, wish them, you know what they say, may the better guys win.
Yeah,
basically.
Obviously.
We'll take a break now on the program Sports Bank for the BBC Premier League updates. Enjoy this, we'll be back in a moment.
Hello, I'm Paul Serres at the BBC Sports Centre. The Manchester United midfielder Donny van der Beek will miss the Netherlands Euro 2020 campaign with a groin injury. Van der Beek, who's won 9 team caps, last played for his country in the 7-0 win against Gibraltar on the 30th of March. Meanwhile, the Manchester United defender Luke Shaw says the England team will continue to take the knee ahead of their European Championship games. Some members of the crowd booed the team before their recent friendly matches at the Riverside Stadium.
We've had discussions about it. We've all chose what we wanted to do. We all agree it was the right thing to do to carry on, taking the knee. And, it's as simple as that. We'll keep doing that. We believe in that and, we won't stop.
An England call-up for the European Championships is mind-blowing, and being with the squad has been very surreal, says the Brighton defender Ben White. White, who's 23, made his international debut in last week's 1-0 friendly win over Austria and replaced the injured Trent Alexander-Arnold in the 26-man squad. Prior to his call-up, White had never been involved in an England setup at any level.
It's mind-blowing. Even the first bit, being in the 33-man squad was enough for me, and to make it to the final squad was unbelievable. Coming here this week, it's been really tough with obviously the players that are here. It shows the level that all these players are at and the level that I need to get to.
Chelsea striker Olivier Giroud scored twice as France completed their preparations for Euro 2020 with a 3-0 win over Bulgaria in Paris. Liverpool striker Sadio Mane was among the goals once again for Senegal as the Teranga Lions beat Cape Verde 2-0. The former Everton midfielder Idrissa Gueye got the other goal for Senegal. And the West Ham pair Thomas Soucek and Vladimir Čufal were both involved as the Czech Republic finished their warm-up matches with a 3-1 win over Albania in Prague. And for more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update. The Hoop.
Okay, there you listen to the BBC Premier League update. Welcome back on Sports Bang, the home stretch. Well, Belgium striker Romelu Lukaku believes racism in football is at an all-time high out of the start of the European Championship. So it means that this is not the time to stop taking the knee, right?
Yeah, the English team and the Scottish team, they've come out to say that they will continue to take their knee throughout the course of the competition. So maybe we always say football is always a huge tool to fight against some kind of racial profiling and all that. So hopefully it will achieve its deserved goal.
Well, Manchester United, according to ESPN, are growing concerns about having to let midfielder Paul Pogba go for free when his contract ends next season. This summer is the only chance they have to get a big money on him if he doesn't extend his contract next season.
Does he end?
So it's going to be Real Madrid, Juventus, Barcelona, or PSG. We'll wait to see. Well, we're out of time right now. We must leave for Donny van de Beek. It's been a poor year for him. Didn't get regular games, and now he's injured. He can't play at the Euros. Sometimes sports, they start different
Very
things.
cruel.
We need to leave right now. Atletico Madrid have offered Spain midfielder Saul Niguez to Manchester City in exchange for Portugal forward Bernardo Silva, both of them are 26. And the report we're having is that Bernardo Silva has actually told the club that he wants to leave. Try something else. He wants to go play in La Liga.
Talking about loyalty now, Saul Niguez has a 9-year contract with Atletico Madrid, so they can do anything they like.
Thank you so much, Faith Adedeji.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, quickly in the world of basketball, Nikola Jovic actually became the 6th international player to actually win the NBA MVP. Congratulations to that wonderful man.
Nice one. We'll leave on that note to return at 4 o'clock later today on the program, Just Football. My name is Tunde Olawuwo. This morning we've worked alongside Bosun Alayode. Have a great Wednesday and bye-bye.
Man and they know this evening the reason. Kill them with the rhythm, we believe in